The video games.
We have a show today.
We got things to talk about. We actually have a list.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna kick things off on Wolfenstein, right?
Full.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Briar and I decided to kill Nazis for a good part of the weekend, and we did.
Yeah, I think that was a really good decision because I think that my enjoyment of that game is very much tied to having played it with you.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Right? Because that game is not the Wolfenstein that I enjoy.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfenstein 1 and Wolfenstein, or let me specify. Wolfenstein, what is it? The New Order, and then Wolfenstein, the New Colossus. Both I play because their stories are very interesting, very batshit crazy. Like I love getting from cutscene to cutscene in those games because they're so good. Like I really enjoy the character of BJ and like the rest of the cast in there. I loved how, who was it? Was it Jimi Hendrix that was in the first game? Like it was just, it's just like a level of craziness that really appealed to me in a big way.
Yeah.
And that is in this game. But it's not like the main focus of the game.
Yeah, it's more like they knew the spirit of Wolfenstein, and so they had that in there, but they definitely didn't lean into it. They didn't lean into the things that made the franchise what I thought, like, a Wolfenstein game. So it felt very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, so some of the fundamental changes, somebody might be like, well, what are those differences and all that? Arcane Studios took on this DLC. Because it is technically a DLC. It's a standalone DLC for Wolfenstein, the previous one that they did. And they did their Arcane thing, which is really good. Arcane does some awesome games. Dishonored, Prey, like they're exciting, fun titles, and they also look beautiful. So the game visually stood up to that like Wolfenstein level of like gore and also dystopian 80s type of thing that Nazis have taken over. So that checked the boxes right there. But they applied this open world type of leveling type of thing that happened, and it's really hit and miss. Because if you've never played a Wolfenstein game and you play that, you could be like, oh, it's really cool being able to go through and like do these side quests and check out, explore, and then come back to a base. But having played Wolfenstein games, it was weird. It was awkward. Because
it was a little bit.
Yeah, like some guys you just couldn't kill because you were underleveled. And I'm like, I'm not used to that. If I headshot the guy, I should be able to kill him. Because that's a Wolfenstein game, yeah? Like if my bullets get pointed, boom, they're dead, yeah? And that wasn't the case, unfortunately.
It kind of played into the narrative. In the narrative of this game, you have the two sisters, right? They're BJ Blazkowicz's kids. And they're young, I'm guessing 17, 18 years old, and this is kind of their first combat experience. They've been trained by their mother and father to fight. They're really actually fun characters. They're really goofy. They're like, kind of got this southern accent, and they really rejoice in the fact that they're killing Nazis in like a really appealing way.
Yeah.
Like I found the characters actually to be super fun, and I'd like to see them in more games. But because this is like their first outing, like it kind of makes sense that they're not like full on like Nazi killing robots, right? Is you kind of build up, you get stronger, you unlock abilities. You're not full on. But I agree with you, Tefty. It doesn't feel like that Wolfenstein experience going into a level, figuring out because you kind of come into these. There's 3 different levels, right? And you come into these, and they're kind of like these hubs, and then you can explore and shoot off and go to different objectives. And the levels themselves are really cool because you can kind of you have a lot of room to explore, but you might run into people that you just can't kill.
Yeah,
like you're just early game, you're just not going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, which felt very Arcane Studios. Like you could feel that DNA of what Arcane Studios does into this game, and I was like, interesting, huh? There's like these RPG elements to it that they're cool. I don't want to say that they're bad because they're not. They're definitely cool elements. But it was a deviation from the Wolfenstein formula because, like, in the past, you could play on the hardest difficulty in Wolfenstein and you're going to get your ass kicked, but you could still kill those enemies if you had your shots on. This is not the case. Now it's like Destiny leveling where you get punished for being underleveled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also, another big problem with this is that they didn't have damage numbers or any kind of reflection of how much damage you're doing after leveling up.
Hit markers.
Yeah, there was no hit markers, so that was weird. And then there was no damage numbers to verify that you're actually doing more damage as you leveled up. And I think that's that's a cornerstone of a game that has leveling. Like you want to see those damage numbers go up. Like when you play Monster Hunter World and you do some damage with your greatsword, and then you upgrade your greatsword, you want to see that number go up. That's one of the big things, right? Like you see, you see a
definitely
bigger number. That's like a satisfaction type of thing, and that's not in the game, unfortunately. If they're gonna, they went down the RPG side, they didn't put that in there.
Yeah, I think that's super important as well because I mean, as you said, like if you're not in a position where you can just like kill someone by headshotting them like you're typically used to, and you have this new model. Because I only played the first hour of it just for like a quick video and whatnot, and I got through to the very first boss you fight, like the guy in the armor suit.
Yeah,
and he had like that weird white shield for like quite a while, and then because there was no feedback, because there was no hit marker, because there were no numbers, I was shooting him constantly. I was like, am I doing something wrong? Because I don't feel like I'm doing damage to this guy. And then eventually the white shield just went away. I was like, oh, okay. So that was so I get what you're saying with that. That was quite a weird experience.
Yeah, there's no feedback.
There's also an armor system too, where there's two different types of armor that the enemies can have, and some of it is more susceptible to penetration damage from like regular bullets, and some of it is more susceptible to like blunt damage from like shotguns and stuff. And that is like a little tip that you find early in the game, but it's, I don't know, it's just like I just want to shoot guys.
Yeah, it's a Wolfenstein game. You want to rip Nazis apart, man. And also, that was one of the best things. Like it seemed like the melee was the best weapon in the entire game,
it was,
except for bosses. Yeah,
100%. Like a lot of the guys that are heavily armored, you can just shoot and shoot and shoot. But if you focus on their head and you get the armor off of their head, then you can throw an axe at their face and just kill them like almost immediately. You can also slice off their arms, which is kind of fun. Like slice off their, like it's pretty gory.
There.
Graphically, though, I gotta say this game is one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
it is outstanding.
Yeah.
The amount of time and work that they put into just like the smallest details. You'll see a lamp, like a sconce on the wall, and you'll like walk up to it and see how detailed it is. Like just really, really nice work. And then like we were looking at the posters, Tefty, and like the posters are super high res. Yep. You can like read the writing on them, and like the posters are kind of funny too because they're all for like 1980s technology, but like German.
Yeah. It's great.
Like,
all these
really
like
kind of funny
these
stuff.
VHS and tape cassette type of like Nazi inspired type of like things that they're selling. It's hilarious, honestly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's really good about the game. Like for $30, if you're a Wolfenstein fan, like I would definitely buy the game and play it because I think just being in that universe and getting to play, understand that there's less story here than what you're used to in the mainline games. It feels more like a DLC,
5 missions,
like the Old Blood or something.
Right, like 5 main missions. Yeah. There's a bunch of side quests, and we didn't do all the side quests. We only did a handful of them because
we didn't.
We're not going to 100% this game. It's just not going to happen.
Side questers, not side questing. What is going on?
Phonies.
I have been side questing The Witcher 3, but that's another story.
You have
those side quests are so good.
Yeah, they are. They are really good. So Wolfenstein Youngblood is a definite deviation from Wolfensteins of the past. 100%. It's like good and bad, honestly, because if you're expecting Wolfenstein, you're going to get disappointed with that aspect of it. If you're expecting like a change up of the formula, then I think they were successful in that aspect. There's a few glaring problems, and one of them is the ammo economy, right, Briar?
Yeah, especially on harder difficulties. There was actually a point I got super frustrated. We did 2 different gaming sessions. We played for 3 or 4 hours on Friday night, and then finished the game on Saturday night. When we quit on Friday night, it was after about a half hour. We were playing on the hardest difficulty where I just could not get any ammo. And when I mean any ammo, I mean any ammo. I had 0 bullets for all my guns, and we were like kind of stuck in this checkpoint where we couldn't progress because
we had to get back
all
to
I
the
had
metro.
was melees, and I couldn't melee anybody.
Yeah.
Right, we couldn't get back to the metro. And like it was really frustrating. We did figure out that once you go back to the main base, you could refill all your weapons there. But like when you die and restart at a checkpoint, it doesn't give you like any bonus ammo. And if you run out of ammo, it's not like in Destiny where if you run out of ammo, the game is like, here's some bullets so you can continue to play.
Yeah.
Like it really was like a hard stop. And that was super frustrating.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense in that RPG world that they built to limit your ammo like that. Like if you die or if you respawn, there should have been like an ammo box to refill essentially. Like you wiped, give an ammo box to like restock the major things so you don't run into those issues. So that was a big problem for us. And then we got to the final boss fight, and that ended up being a lot more difficult than we thought it was going to be, honestly, because we were.
Before you move off of the ammo, on the PlayStation, there's actually a ammo booster that you could buy with a microtransaction.
Yikes!
Yeah, and I didn't know about that until after we played, and I don't know if it's even on the PC version. I think it only is on the PlayStation version. But having had that experience and then realizing that there is a microtransaction that you could buy to get more ammo, I was like, wow, that's
in a
fucked.
single player game as well. That is a big yike.
Man.
Why would they do that?
Right. And then you got to ask, well, is the whole economy tuned to make you want to buy
because
that microtransaction?
Would be, right? Otherwise, that microtransaction wouldn't make any sense being there.
Yes, exactly.
Because, if everyone's ammo's fine, why would you create that? You wouldn't need to.
Yeah, why would that even be an option? So playing on harder difficulties, suddenly you're like, oh, I want to buy this microtransaction for ammo.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
No.
That's awful, unfortunately. Yeah.
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 I did hear about that. I heard that Wolfenstein was they put a lot of microtransactions in there that were kind of questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. We played on PC, and I didn't see hide nor tail of them, to be honest with you. I didn't even see the interface to buy microtransactions. There is like an in-game economy where you can find silver, and it's everywhere. Like you're constantly stopping to pick up silver coins. When you complete a mission, you get like a lot of them, like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And then you can buy things like weapon upgrades or awesome American hero armor. You can buy skins for your gun. Like all that stuff you could buy with the in-game economy. And it's really generous, I feel like. So, apparently this stuff is more prevalent on the PlayStation. I just didn't see it in the PC. I would have.
It's too bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad that that's been prevalent, honestly, because like it's the game already has some issues, but like you can look past a lot of those if you're a fan of the franchise. But then when you see stuff like that, that's just scummy.
Yeah, you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
I gotta buy ammo.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's a big yikes.
Honestly, my recommendation, if you're interested in this game, is to wait for a Steam sale or a PlayStation sale. Wait for it to go on sale. Play through it on easy just to get the story.
Yeah.
Because the story is fun, and there's a bit at the end that ties into the main games with BJ Blazkowicz. Because there is a third game in the main series coming. And if you're a fan of the series, like I've enjoyed basically all of the the newly reinvented Wolfenstein series. And this does feel like a departure from that, but so did like Old Blood. Like if you played the Old Blood, that felt like very, very different than the main game. So I wasn't that surprised that it felt different. I wasn't as big a fan of this as I was the Old Blood, but I did really like the characters in the story.
Yeah, characters in the story, they were fun. Definitely Wolfenstein. Playing with you, Briar, definitely made it like exciting, because if I had to redo a bunch of that stuff and redo, like you have to go through the levels a lot, like the same levels you've been going through, because it's kind of an open world ish type of thing. I mean, it's not true open world, but like it has elements of that where you start with your hub, you get the mission that you're doing, and then you have to go through a familiar area that you've already been through, and there's always enemies spawning there. And I feel like at halfway through the game, if I was playing solo, I would have been like, this again?
Right.
Like
especially with the bullet spongy ones.
Yeah, this freaking dog again, and this guy who's always showing up with a bunch of armor. Like it would have pissed me off at that point. But because we were playing together, I was like, whatever. It's Nazis that we're killing. This is great.
Yeah, we're joking around. Any game is more fun with friends, right? Everything's more fun when you play with friends.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have played it through if you weren't playing co-op? Do you think you would have completed it, or would that frustration have stopped you?
I would have put it on normal or easy mode. I think easy is normal, and I would have just blasted through to get to because I just wanted to see the story beats because I like the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I wouldn't have played on anything more difficult than that. And To be honest with you, I don't really like the co-op stuff that much. If I wasn't playing with Tefty, I wouldn't. I would have just let the computer be my co-op partner because I don't want to really play with a rando who could be fucking off.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
And the if you do play solo, the computer controlled sister, just basically sticks by your side all the time and reses you every time you get knocked down. There are some kind of cool. There's one really cool co-op mechanic, and that is it started with a P, Tefty, where you basically give a thumbs up.
Oh yeah,
and it boosts your partner.
Yeah, what was that called?
That kind of is fun.
I can't believe I'm forgetting that. It was like a
pep.
A pep.
It's a pep.
Yes, the pep.
A pep, like a pep talk.
So yeah, you could choose whether or not you wanted to have the health pep or the armor pep, which is awesome. Yeah. And then you can like get a thing to reduce the cooldown of it. There was a bunch of things that you could upgrade in the game also. We didn't mention, but there's the part of that RPG aspect of it. And so you could upgrade the pep talk and it would your thumb would go out. Be like, yeah, you're doing great, sis. Love you.
I was like, hell
Amazing.
yeah. Time to go in and slay.
But you'd like run in.
Funny. They'll be like, you are a bitchin' killing machine, sister.
Yeah. you'd be running in, sliding SMG and a bunch of guys, then like throw out your thumb and be like, good job, sis. And get health back. It was great.
That's pretty funny.
The pep system might be the best takeaway out of anything in games. Be like, we need a pep system
totally
in all
see
games.
Something like that. Yeah. It's almost like the ping system we were saying. Like, we want a ping system from
Apex.
From Apex in every game, and now we want a pep system in every game.
Yeah, it's just great. Throwing out a pep for the little buff, like it's awesome. Yeah. Also, so as we played through, we then got to the boss. The final boss, in my opinion, is extremely cheesy, and I could see this being where somebody would be like, "That's it, I'm paying for the microtransaction for ammo because there's no goddamn ammo."
Yeah,
and you couldn't leave the level either. At least we couldn't figure out how to leave the level to go get ammo to then come back to play this.
Come back. Yeah.
So that was extremely frustrating. And the boss, like, we were a couple levels underneath, but like we were easily taking out everything else. And then this guy was a pain in the ass.
So you're ready for the boss.
Yeah.
You're ready for boss time, and there's no like middle ground between like super easy dealing with this guy, boss super difficult. There was no like.
No, he was just a pain in the ass. He was throwing cheesy stuff too. It was just a bunch of mortars that were randomly damaging you everywhere. And it was like,
yeah,
that's cheesy.
It was that ammo economy again. I mean, once we figured out a way to get ammo, then we killed him first try. But we went in there the first time, we used up all our ammo, and then we respawned with no ammo. So you
need a raid banner.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's exactly what we needed in that. Yeah.
You could buy it in the store.
That's right. The microtransaction raid banner. So I'd give it a solid 6.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I would definitely wait for this to go on sale. But if you're a fan, I would definitely play it before Wolfenstein 3 comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yep.
No, that makes sense.
But there's no hurry to do it right now.
No hurry at all.
A nice winter sale on Steam would probably fix you right up.
Yep.
Get that thing for like $5.
Yeah. Oh, best part of the game, I totally forgot. You can spec into a shoulder charge that keeps on doing more damage, and all you have to do is start sprinting, and you'll tackle enemies. It'll reduce them down to a sliver of health, and then you just like pop them or melee them. That was really satisfying.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anytime there's a tackle, that's like the best.